Hey family, on November 20th through December 1st, 2022, we will have the all-inclusive Kenya trip. Now, a lot of times people have said, hey, Phil, when's the next trip we'd like to go? I want to see Africa for myself, but this is the time to go. Everything will be taken care of. All excursions are paid. You can do monthly payments. You know, they'll have safari and a 6-city tour. You will see Charlie Island, which is something that we did not see last time on the tour. This tour will be 12 days instead of 7 days. So make sure to secure your place on the trip by going to www.wbsvs.com, make your deposit, and then you can start making your payments, and we'll see you in Kenya.
Hello everyone, it's me, Demetra Kaye of the Demetra Kaye Show here on YouTube and a proud contributor of the African Diaspora News Channel. If you could please do me a favor and subscribe to all channels and like this video, I would greatly appreciate it. So as you guys know by now, about a week ago or so, a black man by the name of Jayland Walker, 25 years old, was brutally murdered by that of the Akron, Ohio Police Department. Now, a lot of details are coming out, but they said, they being police officers, said that he had a gun in the back of the car and, you know, he shot at them. And of course, we saw the video by now that he got out and ran from him. And then they shot 90 bullets in his direction, landing 60 of them into his body from his head all the way down to his feet. In fact, they said that he had 12 bullets in his face alone. And so they massacred him to no doubt, right? Like there's no doubt that's what that was. And it was 8 officers, 7 of them being white and the 8th being black from what we understand. Okay, so of course they're going to try to paint Jayland as the bad guy and he deserved it, right? Even though we know that he did not deserve it. But that's what they do to black men. After they murder them wholesale, they try to paint another picture to try to talk to the public as to why they deserve 60 bullets in their bodies. Okay, so now that you know all of that, to what we know so far, I have a question. Democrats, and I'm specifically speaking to that of the Congressional Black Caucus. How much of that are you going to take ownership of? Now, I asked that question because, as you guys know, recently they, being the Biden administration, signed that of the George Floyd Justice in Policing Act, which does a few things but leaves out a whole bunch of other things. Well, one of the things it's supposed to do is to stop or prevent racial profiling by law enforcement officers on all levels, from federal, state, and local. Now, it's also supposed to limit, now y'all hear that? Limit unnecessary use of force by police officers. And the one that really kind of we got to pay attention to is that it restricts things like chokeholds and no-knock warrants. Now, the word is restrict, and that really only deals with certain police officers, right? But more importantly, they left out qualified immunity, and that is still on the table, right? Because that's what we were asking for, majorly, for them to remove qualified immunity, which absolves police officers of any wrongdoing, specifically that financially and a whole host of other things. Because as of now, when police officers murder unarmed black people, the city usually picks up the tab. And so the police officers still do not have to be responsible in that manner. So I said all of that to say, I want you to look at this picture here. In that picture, you see Al Sharpton, Sheila Jackson Lee, Karen Bass, of course, Joe Biden, and that of Gianna Floyd, who is the daughter of the late George Floyd. They're standing there with celebration in their eyes, right? Like it looks like a good thing that Joe Biden has signed this bill. It's not a good thing. And they knew that qualified immunity was not going to be included in that bill. And they knew they had all these limitations and restrictions. Nothing that says, okay, full stop. If police officers do this, then this is going to happen. There's nothing in there. It's just symbolism. But I say that to say that they knew what was in that bill and what wasn't in that bill. And so let's take it back to Jayland Walker. Jayland Walker, as you guys know, I just explained, was murdered by police officers. Now let me ask y'all this. Do you guys think that if the George Floyd and Justice and Policing Act bill actually has some teeth, do y'all think those officers would have maybe thought twice before they did what they did to him? I think so. I think if that bill was a little bit more austere and how police officers would have to answer to murdering unarmed black people, I think they would have thought twice. Now, would they have stopped completely? I don't know. But I definitely think that if they thought, okay, if I go out there and willy-nilly kill black people like I normally would do, I might be responsible for this. I might have my pension and everything else taken away from me, and I'll have to foot the bill. Yeah, they're probably going to go by the rules, right? And go adhere to the training that I think that they're supposed to have, right? But no. So the Congressional Black Caucus, they knew that this bill was nonsense and symbolism, and yet here we are. Yet another black man has lost his life due to the murdering police officers in Akron, Ohio. So yeah, I think that the CBC has blood on their hands because they sold black people up the river just to say they did something, right? So they can say, well, look, Joe Biden did something for us. Oh, we got this bill. But that bill still leaves black people unprotected when it comes to the police officers. Now, I've heard a lot of chatter about, oh, Jayland shouldn't have ran and this, that, and the other. But I was not there, and I'm not Jayland, but I would only imagine that he ran because he was afraid, just like most black men who were stopped by police officers. In the back of their mind, and maybe in the front of their mind, they're like, is this my last day on earth behind a ticket or something that's minor like a traffic stop, right? Because that's what that was supposed to be, a traffic stop. And Jayland is no longer here. And so, yes, in my opinion, the CBC has blood on their hands too. And so when the midterms come up, we as black people, when we go to those polls, we need to remember somebody like Jayland Walker who lost his life because the people who were supposed to represent him didn't think it was important enough to include at least getting rid of qualified immunity to hold those officers more responsible other than getting paid administrative leave and this long drawn out, well, we gonna see, we heard this, we gotta look at the body cams and all that other stuff. I think that it could have been avoided. So anyway, y'all tell me what you're thinking. Do you think that the CBC is just as culpable for what happened to Jayland Walker as the police officers? So anyway, for more insightful commentary, please subscribe to this channel and my channel, The Demetra Kaye Show, here on YouTube. Peace.
Hey family, make sure you join us on the new and improved AfricanDiasporaNews.org. Now, it is our uncensored and raw truth website. We have to make sure to have our own website because on social media platforms, they do have rules, and at any time they could change a rule and shut a whole genre down. Now, that would not happen to us because on AfricanDiasporaNews.org, we can speak the truth. We don't have to hold back. So make sure you join our website today.